Hey everybody, Questwise here. Today I want to make a video response to a video that was put up by Bill Allen, which was entitled The Real Truth About Being a Master GM slash DM slash Storyteller, whatever game you're playing, which also spurred on a few other people to make some video responses as well. One of those being Ben over at Questing Beast and Tim of Samwise 7 RPG. All three of them gave some really great points, but I wanted to kind of weigh in on my theories on what it is to be a master GM. A little bit of background about me. I've been playing tabletop role-playing games since 1991, and I in no way consider myself a master GM. I think that there's always room for improvement. I think there's always room to learn more things and experience things I haven't before. There are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of role players out there in the world, and they all have different styles and they all have different talents, and I think that I can learn something from all of them. But and so much like the book world, I think that there's always something out there for everybody. There might be a book that I really love, and when I share it with somebody else, they might not like it at all. And thus there's going to be lots of different play styles when it comes to role-playing games and techniques that other people are just not going to like. So I think it really comes down to finding a group and being open with the group that you're playing with as to how you like to play, how you like to run, or what they want to play as a group, what they want to see from you. I think some of the key elements of being a great GM is that you should play a lot. I think that you should play in as many games as you possibly can. I agree with all three guys' videos that they've made in that you can't just watch videos on YouTube. You can't just read books and expect to be really great at being a GM until you actually put those theories, those techniques into practice and play the game a lot. Whether you're running it or playing in the game, adding those techniques and trying them out and finally tuning those techniques is key. Very much the key. The other thing I would say would be watch a lot of videos. Please do. Watch all the videos you can. I've learned lots of cool techniques and tips from different videos. And then read a lot. Read a lot of stuff. Read anything. Read history. Read fantasy. Read science fiction. Read whatever, whatever sparks your imagination. I have another video. If you go back in my catalog a little bit, you'll see, I think it was called Inspiration Everywhere. And I talk about how you can find inspiration for tabletop role-playing games anywhere, be it books or media or movies, whatever it happens to be. And I think that's really key. I think that the more that you read, the more that you watch, the more that you do, the better as a game master you will be. Be open to learning. Be open to always be ready to learn something new about the hobby. Read lots of different role-playing games. Play in as many games as you can. I highly recommend going to conventions if you can, or open game days at the game stores if there's one nearby you, or playing in some online games if you can via Skype or what have you. And be open to learning new games and new game systems because those will give you a more, I think, better, well-rounded sense of role-playing and what people are trying to get out of each different type of game. Like I said, I've been playing since 1991, and I'm always learning new stuff. In fact, just last year at Grand Con in Grand Rapids, Michigan, I attended a game that was run by Kevin, who's the owner of Palladium Books, and I played in one of his fantasy games. And even then, I had learned some tips and some techniques and some tricks from him that I had never stumbled upon in all my years of playing. And so there's always a chance to always learn more. Improv. Improv is the key, I believe. And I can't speak for everyone else, but I believe that improv is the key to being a good game master. And what do I mean by that? I mean that you need to practice at being extremely flexible in your game. And that's because players, no matter how well you've prepared and no matter how many hours and hours you've put into creating the adventures and the campaigns, the players will always, always, always find some way to derail what you have created. And being a good improvisational person will help you overcome those obstacles, to get things back on track, to sort of steer the story back into the way that you envisioned it, or take it in a whole new direction that you hadn't envisioned but the players had. You can't be in everyone's brain at all the time. So you kind of want to um, be as flexible as you can so that you can sort of give the players what they want. And you can tell that at the table. It's very easy for you to discern, or at least I feel it is for me, easy to discern at some certain points where the players want to go and what they envision the adventure as actually being. Don't be afraid to take criticism. I think this is a big one as well too. Players, you're running the game not only for yourself but for a group of players, whether they be your friends or some people you've just met at a convention. The game is all about having fun, and that's the key. You want to tell a great story and you want to have fun. Nobody's going to have fun if you're not open to criticism or open to some suggestions. What I like to do is that every time I sit down for a game, again, whether it be with friends or it be a convention, I tell people, hey, this is how I like to run the game. What are you guys looking for? What did you envision this game being when you signed up for it or you sat down at the table? Are you looking for a very crunchy, murder hobo kind of, hack and slash kind of game? Are you looking for a game with like lots of great exploration and discovery? Do you want a game that's very much about diplomacy and interacting with other peoples and NPCs? What is it that you're looking for so that I can be flexible and that I can try to steer the game into a way that's enjoyable for everyone? I think that, in my opinion, is the greatest key to being a great game master, is being flexible and being on top of your game. Try to be as flexible as you can and as open improv wise. And improv only comes with practice. You have to practice to be good at improv. You can't just do it at home. You can't just do it in the mirror. Improv requires you to interact with other people. Now, whether you take an improv class at the local, community college or what have you, or the local church, a lot of churches do like improv groups and stuff. Whatever it be, or you just play in lots of games, you have to practice improv. Now, I can't say Bill Allen makes a very big statement in saying that he is so well honed at certain games that he could sit down with no prep whatsoever and run the best game of your life. I'll never be able to make that promise, but I will say that no matter how great you are, prep is always vital. I use this thing. I bought this. I know it's a Harry Potter memo book, or journal, or whatever. I just thought the cover was cool. It made it look like a book of secrets or something. I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, but it's a cool notebook. But this is full of notes of just stuff that I've taken that is prep for games. Now, the way I prep for games is that I try to put a framework down. I try to come up with an idea of how I kind of want the broad overview of the story to go. And no matter what game I'm playing. But I know that the players are always going to have these little quirks and things that they're going to do that are going to kind of steer the story in a way I never expected. And so what I try to do is I try to put up a nice framework of the story that I'm looking for, some major NPCs that I want the players to encounter, any creatures I want to kind of thing, some loot, some important key factors of things that I want to add to the game, and then I create a starting scene of how I get all the characters involved in the story itself. From there, that's where I stop. From there, I simply run the first session, and feeding off what the players have done, what they've said, and how I get the general feel of the table, I will build the next session from there. So it's very much, I do always do some prep work, but I also am very open to doing some improv and being very flexible at the table and trying to see what it is that the players are looking for. So I will try to link all the other videos down below from Bill and from Tim and from Ben, so you can watch those too if you would really like, and just my general thoughts on what it is to be a great game master. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up or hit the subscribe button if you haven't before. But until next time, I'm Questwise, and we're out.